what you're saying is that not only is the president spending $400 billion on this reckless and blatantly political bailout, in less than a decade, taxpayers could very well expect to hear these same calls from the left to do it again?
Thank you for that question, Congressman. At best, this is a Band-Aid that's going to buy us 5.5 years, but that doesn't even account for the behavioral effects. The reality, as some of my colleagues here have mentioned, is there's going to be more borrowing as a result of this cancellation in IDR. And so I'd expect we'll be right back to where we started, even faster than that 5.5 years we estimated.
And we really, we've heard a little bit on the root cause of student debt in that discussion in terms of what universities do whenever there's, what do you think the result will be on tuition going forward with this debt relief? I mean, and I know it's a projection, it's a guess, but some behaviors are predictable. And what are your thoughts on where tuition in universities and colleges go should this debt forgiveness go through?
So I expect the president's policies will drive up tuition, especially graduate tuition. Maybe even more concerning, they're going to drive down the value of the programs. We're going to see a lot more low-quality programs that are high cost and not giving much in return.
So it's fair to say that at the end of the day, this, for the next generation of learners, is going to make education either impossible or, quite frankly, provide them with such a watered-down education that there really doesn't have value in terms of earning possibilities.
I don't know about impossible, but this is going to make overall outcomes worse, not better, going forward.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Salerno, the Government Accounting Office recently uncovered that the vast majority of institutions are at best misstating the actual price of their degree programs and at worst, intentionally concealing them. Now, if we want to solve the problem of excessive borrowing and financing for degrees that simply don't pay off, it is critical that students have maximum transparency when it comes to the cost and the value of an institution's program offerings. Given your expertise and knowledge about the shortcomings of the college financing process and challenges it creates for students and families, what would maximum transparency look like from your perspective?
Congressman, thank you for the question. I can give you two things in particular that I think would improve the situation greatly. The first would be to present data in a more clear and transparent way to students as consumers.
Oh no, friends. It is happening. The inflation rate is expected to rise once again. The Federal Reserve is planning to take bigger action to address this major issue. With millions worried, officials are stepping in to provide a little extra financial relief to those who are hit hardest by the crisis. Also, I'll be going over who qualifies for this extra aid. So, dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community, I will be announcing 3 winners in a video later today for the $75 Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter these weekly giveaways, all you have to do, friends, is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, dear friends, of winning the giveaways. High inflation and the state of our economy remain at the top of the list of Americans' biggest concerns. A new and recent poll showed at least 60% of respondents said they have a great deal of concern about inflation and the economy. The percentage had increased by 5 points for both categories from a poll taken last year. The Federal Reserve is already raising its key interest rate, 0.25 percentage points, underscoring central bankers' commitment to fighting inflation, even if that heightens the financial pressure on the country's banks. As recently as 2 weeks ago, the Fed appeared to set a steeper rate hike and prepare to keep them elevated for longer. The closure of 2 California banks and the takeover of 2 others created big panic in the financial system. Many economists, as well as the Fed, noted that the bank's newfound caution following the turmoil would likely drag on the economy. The high cost of living is causing financial headaches for millions of Americans. This is why many states and cities have approved new relief. There is a $5 million fund from which Americans could receive a much-needed $500 stimulus check. And this is happening in the state of Missouri, specifically in the town of St. Louis. And these checks are directed at families with low incomes. Mayor Jones was the one who made the announcement last week. She said that the city already has plans to send cash to thousands of families who are going through a tough time as they withstand inflation rates and economic issues during this crisis. The bill that was presented is calling for the state to spend $5 million in funds. They are urging the federal government to agree on sending $500 monthly payments to local families for the next year and a half. The idea is for this program to begin as soon as it's approved and continue happening until 2024. The program is not yet approved, but a green light would mean that eligible individuals will be those with low income who are either parents or guardians of children in public city schools. It is a great chance for the city of St. Louis to offer support to working parents and their children. Nebraska Governor Jim Pellin's school aid and tax cut plan kept on rolling this week as lawmakers gave a strong thumbs up to a package of property tax changes that is worth more than $3 billion over the next 6 years. The bill, introduced by Senator Tom Breeze, would increase Nebraska's 2 property tax credit programs, cap school property tax growth, and eliminate almost all community college property taxes. The package represents the second piece of Governor Pellin's plan to advance. The first piece, which would be cut the state's top income tax rate by 1/3 and make other income tax changes. Governor Breeze said the property tax package would provide substantial property tax relief for everyday Nebraskans. Last fall in the state of Maine, a new law took effect aimed at giving relief to homeowners who have watched inflation and drive up their property values and thus their taxes. But lawmakers from across the political spectrum say it was not implemented with a thorough plan, and they are rushing to make changes. The Property Tax Stabilization Program allows individuals 65 and older who have owned their home for 10 non-consecutive years to apply to have their property taxes frozen at the previous year's rate. That freeze can continue, but homeowners must reapply each year. There are no income requirements, and while the law compels towns to assess and offer financial relief, state reimbursement will be up to each new legislature. Senator Rick Benet put forth a new bill, which proposed eliminating the still new program altogether and expanding the state's existing homestead exemption program. That program allows eligible permanent residents to receive up to $25,000 taken off their property value when it comes to tax evaluation. Well, my magnificent and marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Friday. Thank you so much, friends, for being here and for being part of this community. I will be announcing the winners in a video later today, so please make sure that you do stay tuned for that video. Thank you, friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed Friday.